Okay, this study guide deals with sort of the converse idea for parallelograms. So if you're told you have a parallelogram, there's certain properties that come along with it being a parallelogram that you know. If you just have a general figure, though, the way that you can tell if it is a parallelogram is to see if those properties are present. So if both pairs of opposite sides are parallel, let me draw an example here. So if this one and this one and this side are both parallel to each other, then it's a parallelogram. If both pairs of opposite sides are congruent, if this side and this side are congruent to each other, and this side and this side are congruent to each other, then it has to be a parallelogram. One of the properties is that diagonals bisect each other. So if you've got a diagram or a problem where the diagonals are bisecting each other, it must be a parallelogram. And if you have one pair of opposite sides that are both parallel and congruent at the same time, that's enough to make this a parallelogram. So let's look and see what we have here. In this example, they're telling us that AP is 3x minus 4, and the whole length of AC is 46, which is this whole entire length here is 46. And PB is 3y, P to B is 3y, and DP is 5y minus 12. So DP is 5y minus 12. So diagonals in this parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. The y's are on this diagonal here, and DP is congruent to PB because AC bisects it, which means that 5y minus 12 equals 3y. Let's take 5y away from both sides. Minus 12 equals minus 2y. Divide by negative 2, y equals 6. Let's find out what y is. Okay, so y is equal to 6. Find out what x is. This whole length here is 46. This 3x minus 9 is just half that entire length. So if we double 3x minus 9, we can make it equal to 46 and solve for x. So that's what we're going to do. So we have 3x minus 4 times 2, and that's got to be equal to 46. So 6x, using this derivative property, 6x minus 8 equals 46. Add 8 to both sides. 6x's is 52. And x is going to be 7. That's 42. Something's off with these computations. Okay, 6x minus 8 equals 46. Add 8 to both sides. I add 8 to both sides. 46 and 8 is 54. And 6 times 9 makes 54. So x is equal to 9. Find out what y is. We already found out y was equal to 6. And x was equal to 9. Okay, let's look at these next problems. Determine whether each quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and write yes or no and give a reason. So if we look at number 1, we've got pairs of opposite sides that are congruent, and if you have pairs of opposite sides congruent, that's enough to be a parallelogram. So that's a yes. Looking at number 2, we do have that these, if we do like the parallel lines with the transversal here, these are same side interior angles. These do add to 180 degrees, which lets us know that since these are same side interior angles and supplementary, that these lines must be parallel, but it doesn't say anything about these lines being parallel. They don't look parallel, we can assume, but also there's no evidence that these are parallel. So we can say that it's not a parallelogram. Not enough info. Okay, let's look at number 3. We've got same side interior angles here, not supplementary. These lines are not parallel to each other. So not parallel. Sides. And also these two sides are congruent, but also nothing about congruent. Not congruent sides either. So that makes it a no for several reasons. Okay, let's look at the last two here. Find the values of x and y that ensure that each quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So a parallelogram is going to have opposite angles congruent. So 5y's has to equal 60 because these two angles are congruent. Divide by 5, y is equal to 12. So if y is equal to 12, both of those are 60-degree angles. If it's a parallelogram, then these two angles need to be supplementary. So we have 60 plus 3x plus 60 needs to add up to 180, because really we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. And if that's the case, then same side interior angles are going to be supplementary to each other. So 3x's plus 120 makes 180. Take 120 away from both sides. 3x's is 60. Divide by 3. X is equal to 20. So x is equal to 20 for that problem, and y is equal to 12. Okay, let's look at number 5. So let's see, number 5. One thing we have going on is that this 24 plus 20 angle, which is 44 degrees, has to be congruent to the opposite angle up here, which is the x plus y plus 2x. So we may be able to do something with that. So 2x and x makes 3x, and we have a y. And from these angles being congruent because they're opposite, we have that 3x plus y is equal to 44. Now we can't solve that because there's an x and y involved, but let's see what else we can do. This is a parallelogram. So if I'm looking at a z here, so if I kind of do a z like this, to here, down to here, and up, these are alternate interior angles. So 2x's equals 24, which means that x is equal to 12. Okay, so we have x is equal to 12. So now I can go up to this one and plug 12 in for x and see what we get. We got 3 times 12 plus y is equal to 44. 36 is 3 times 12 plus y is equal to 44. Take 36 away from both sides, y equals 8. So we find out that y is equal to 8. Let's check it out. 2x's, now this all together should come out to be 44. 2x's, 2 times 12 is 24. We have 24 for this side. And x plus y needs to be 24 because they're congruent. And x plus y is, should be 20. Yeah, this one comes out to be 20. You've got x plus y is 8 plus 12, which is 20. And 20 and 24 does add up to be 44.